You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
Looking for uncommon talent? Meet the Grads of Life. They're not the typical candidates you're used to, but they're exactly who your company needs. An ideal fit for entry-level positions, internships, and even mentorships. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn more. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pros studios. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Will the president be a convicted felon? I'm Chris Foster of Fox News. We're waiting on confirmation of a decision from a judge in New York whether to order a new trial or dismiss criminal charges against President-elect Donald Trump or let the charges stand.
Trump was convicted by the Manhattan jury in May of falsifying business records related to a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels in 2016 to keep her claims of a sexual encounter with Trump quiet. Trump has denied any wrongdoing. Shortly after the verdict, the Supreme Court ruled that ex-presidents can't be prosecuted for actions taken in office, and prosecutors can't use it to bolster a case centered on personal conduct.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers in New York. Sentencing for now is scheduled November 26th. The Supreme Court says no to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows having his 2020 election interference case in Georgia moved from state to federal court. He was indicted on racketeering and other charges last year over phone calls and meetings with Georgia state officials asking to change the election's outcome. Fox confirms South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is expected to be President-elect Trump's Homeland Security Secretary nominee, and Florida Senator Marco Rubio the choice for Secretary of State. At least 35 people are killed in a car attack in China.
Dozens of people were exercising at a sports center in the southern city Zhuhai when a car plowed into them. Social media video shows bodies strewn across a large stretch of pavement. The 62-year-old behind the wheel was arrested. He's been identified only by his family name of Fan. We're told Fan was unhappy about his divorce settlement. He was found in the car with self-inflicted knife wounds.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The Biden administration finalizes a new federal fee for oil and natural gas companies emitting methane above certain levels, part of the climate law passed by Congress in 2022. A new Republican-controlled Congress could look to undo at least parts of that law. America's listening to Fox News.
Police officer and canine handler Jacob Russell Chaffins was fatally shot while attempting to serve warrants for domestic violence offenses. And thanks to friends like you and your generosity, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave the Chaffins family the gift of a mortgage-free home. There's so much more to do and to say thank you to our nation's heroes and their families for their immense sacrifices, all for us. Donate $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry.
Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it. Woo! Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance.
Get ready for something fresh and exciting with the Josh Guillory Show. Josh Guillory brings a new perspective to the airwaves, analyzing news and issues coming out of Baton Rouge in Washington, D.C., and breaking down how they affect you. Engaging, raw, and informative, Guillory knows how to have fun while delivering the latest in politics and current events. With daily features that entertain and inform, you won't want to miss a single episode. The Josh Guillory Show, 4 p.m., Monday through Friday, only on News Talk 96.5, KPEL.
What's dangerous and stupid and can cost you $25,000? Excavating without calling Louisiana One Call. So dial 811 before you dig. It's the law.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champines, located in the Oil Center. Champines, going the extra mile.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to be back with you. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. Always an opportunity to be a voice on the Matthew James Business and Tax Reduction Hotline. All right, we're going to jump right into it, folks. By the way, Cane River Pecan giveaway. I got 2 winners coming today, moongriffon.com. moon@moongriffon.com. Say you want to win. Make sure you leave an address. We'll give you got a shot at winning some Cane River Pecans. We're honored to have, again, Governor Jeff Landry. Governor Landry joins us. Governor Landry, what's going on, man? I'm keeping up with everything from a distance. I just want to let you know that.
Moon, how many times? How many times I've been on?
It's been,
come on now.
Damn near a dozen. How about that? And how about this? Hey, between Jindal and Edwards, way more deal. How about that?
I love it. Yeah. Oh, my God, I love it. I love it. So, yes. Well, thank you. Tell me what you think.
Well, no,
give me your questions.
First of all, let's do this. You describe what you're doing, because I'm looking at it. It's a big thing. I appreciate you doing what you're doing. Let me say that up front. It's never even been tried. It's something we need. It's something big. Now, I know the devil's in the detail, but y'all have already passed some stuff out that you got to get through the House to get to the Senate. So tell us what you're doing overall and where are we in the process right now in the special session?
Well, look, let me first say that I think for everyone listening out there, that if we always view the legislative process as kind of like sausage making, right? It's not pretty going in, but you hope it tastes good coming out, and that things that as they, legislation is supposed to develop as it moves through the committee process, right? The committee process and the floor are all places under which you're supposed to find and tweak legislation. I know the media, likes to, especially when Republicans are involved, likes to believe that the first bill, drafted and then filed is like chiseled in stone, and like if you change something, it upends everything, and that's not true. And so we are right now working through that process, and I am extremely pleased at the way things are going. Like you said earlier, Moon, this is the largest undertaking of a rewrite of tax in Louisiana, at least until 1974. If we pass it in its entirety, they say it's going to be the largest tax cut in the history of Louisiana at one time. The whole point, and this is what's so important, the point of it is that what we want to do is get Louisiana positioned to start taking part in the new industrial South. And the way that you do that is, and the barometer that you use is the tax foundation. Because if you look at states that have done tax reform, and as they've moved down or down in number, but up in the polling places of the tax foundation, you have seen their economies grow. So I'll give you an example. North Carolina, at one time they were 44th. They did tax reform. They ended up 12th. They picked up 1.5 million people and increased the average family income by $11,000. The tax foundation in our package, as it stood when we filed it, said that we would go from, I think, 40th to 42nd to 8th, which is huge, right? It puts us, we go from the bottom 10 to the top 10 in one fell swoop. And of course, we need a vote of the voters as well on the rewrite of Article 7 on the Constitutional Amendment. What that will do is put us in a place to stabilize our revenue, and so that we can start to concentrate on making government more efficient and ensuring that we don't have duplicative services, and making sure that we have efficiencies, and making sure that we don't grow the size of government just because we go from one budget to the next. I know how to do that because that's what I did when I was at the AG's office. All of the great people that worked for me, we did that consistently. Now, it was a little easier because at that time, our employees were unclassified, right? So it was a lot easier. You could move them around a lot easier. You could terminate them a lot easier. We don't have that luxury in the bureaucracy as a whole. But I do think that we have the will of the legislature, and certainly I have the will, to then go in and start to work on the budget.
So
that's it.
Yeah, I know it's harder to do and easier to explain. I know the process. So where are you right now? You've got some things out of the committee. And I thought some of that, I told somebody asked me about it, I said, look, the stuff they moved so far is the low-hanging fruit. When they get to taxes and all that stuff, it'll be a little bit difficult. I said the House will probably approve a lot of it. I think your problem, Governor, is in the Senate. Look, I don't know what your relationship is, but I call him half-ass Henry. That's me, not you. I get a little frustrated with them. They seem to bog down anything that's good. How you overcome that? What can you do to make sure they understand it? Because I've heard people tell me from the Senate, well, when they get to us, we're going to change it. And I think that anything they water down, this thing could flip a little bit more than what you're hoping to happen. So just how do you maneuver that? Because the Senate cannot keep being a problem for everything we try to pass.
Well, I tell you what, how I do it, I keep going on the Moon Griffon show and other radio shows and TV and whatnot, and we talk about it, and we've been talking to the Senate. And I got to tell you, in all fairness, we are where we are, and I think further in the process because of discussions that Cameron and Philip and I had 60 days ago, or maybe 90 days ago. I get lost in time, and it was Cameron's idea to put all the bills out early and have the discussions early. And I think that has bore some fruit. The Senate seems to be very engaged. Now, okay. I'm gonna withhold total credit until we get the final product.
Sure.
But they seem to be very engaged. And here's what I would say is that if we can get this thing across the line, it will be with their help. And if so, you will hear me get on the show and say that they did a phenomenal job, and that maybe what we saw at the beginning of this year was just rough bumps of trying to understand how both of the houses should work under a new administration and some new members. I don't know. Moon, like my wife reminds me, I'm a glass that's always half full. I'm an eternal optimist because I couldn't do this job if I was the other way. And so I'm going to hold out hope, but I think we keep the pressure. I think that people out there continue to talk to their senators and say, listen, we need to do something big. And here's the other thing, too, is that we like the public input. There are some things in this legislation that people are not comfortable with. There are some things that they flat out don't like. I don't mind when they voice those things. It makes us look at them harder and determine whether or not we can do it in a better way, or maybe we can't, or maybe we shouldn't even be doing that. That's part of the process. But again, the most important thing for the voters to recognize is that we can completely rewrite Article 7, which has like 31,000 words. We can get it down to something like 11,000, which if you wanted to read it, at least you could.
Yeah.
And then we could give the legislature way more flexibility in the ability to budget and give you the ability to then stay on me and them to reduce the size of government or to contain the growth and to make sure that government is efficient. So it's like a step process, right? It's kind of like playing chess rather than playing checkers.
Okay.
But, Moon, the greatest thing about this is that when you talk to business owners out there, both in this state and outside, when you start laying out what the package has in it, they're like, wow, man, this is going to give us some relief. And look, with Trump getting elected, I mean, look, let's talk about that. I mean, we're in a new place now, right? We've got an opportunity. I think he's going to crank this economy up. He knows how to do it, and we want to be a part of it.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that. We hadn't been a part of it for a while, and that's kind of hurt us. Let me ask you a few other questions on this. So, and just two or three more. Number one is sales taxes on items that we haven't been paying taxes on. How does that play into that? Because if you look at this, and I had Daniel Earthspawn on, and Daniel was real good, and Daniel's for it, and Daniel's for the program. And one of the things he talked about was, and I asked him, he said, some people could be paying more taxes. And he said that. And I kind of remembered that, and I said, wow. So that doesn't sound like a tax break. So how does that work with the sales tax versus the income tax? Are people going to be paying more in taxes? And by the way, he didn't say a lot. He said there'll be a few people paying more taxes.
Well, here's the thing. The people who are paying more taxes are going to be doing that based upon a choice, not upon. Look, when I tax you at your income, you have no choice. You're paying the bill. When you pay a tax on consumption, you decide whether you want to buy the item or not. And we tried to be very careful to make sure that we didn't put in place those things that were like necessities. Like there's a commercial run claiming that we're going to tax haircuts, and we're not. It's not even in the bill. But here's the thing. Louisiana has 217 exemptions on our sales taxes. Mm-hmm. We don't align our sales taxes with our locals. That's another thing. Another thing that's real important, Moon, is that we're getting ready to unshackle or begin to unshackle local government from the state capital. And so that they can stand on their own, and the people inside of those parishes can hold those local officials accountable for the way that they spend their money and the way that they raise their revenue. And it's actually making the locals really look hard and thoughtful about the way that their revenue is tax structured, from the sheriffs to the assessors to the parish governments and to the school boards. And I think that creates more responsibility. That is a good thing. You see that same structure in those states that are beating us. So, yeah, there are people out there that, based upon how much they consume or what they consume, they may. But here's what I'll tell you. I don't know. I mean, you hate to say all of them because, somebody's going to find one little thing out there, but because I think we're taking away like 111 exemptions. But the vast majority of the exemptions that we put on the table were those that were being taxed in other states that are beating us. That's very important to remember. Okay? Now, we've got some challenges when we do that, and those are some of the things that we're working out right now.
Let me just take a quick break, come back a few more minutes. I got 2 or 3 more little quick questions. I'll get you in and out. Governor Jeff Landry talking about his big tax proposal, and it's not a tax proposal, tax reform proposal. We'll see how that goes. But we got to take a break. We'll be back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases? Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. It's gumbo season. This year, I want you to try some Ragin' Cajun authentic roux and let Ragin' Cajun roux do the hard work for you. Using just 2 simple ingredients. Ragin' Cajun roux, a slow cook for 6 hours for the perfect dark and rich tasting gumbo. You can find Ragin' Cajun roux and Ragin' Cajun original Cajun seasoning in all your favorite grocery stores today. Folks, ask them for that Ragin' Cajun. Try all your great Ragin' Cajun products. Ask for them by name in the grocery store. Ragin' Cajuns, folks. This food is great.
Support local.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. Governor Jeff Landry joining us. Tax reform all over the place. Special session going to the 25th. Hey, Governor, I heard this several times. I got to bring it up to you. And the question is, why are we taxing attorneys? I'm just telling you, it was wrong. Why can't we tax lawyers?
I got no problem. Listen, I got no problem taxing attorneys. I got no problem taxing attorneys. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, look. I mean, I have no problem. I mean, if they want to do it, they can go do it. We taxing lobbyists, and most of the lobbyists are attorneys. But again, I don't have a problem. It's not a problem.
Is it any way for this to be a tax increase? I'm talking about overall tax increase because that's just concerned because where you starting on? Hold on, where you starting this, Governor, and where it's ending is the part. If you ask me, Moon, what bothered you? You said last time we got a lot of good things. I agree with that. There's a lot of good things, but what about if they water some of the parts down on the backside? They got to make a deal. Will that affect it? I'm just kind of curious what you think about that.
Well, here's the thing, Moon. Based upon what I have been taught as a conservative and a Republican all these years, growing up underneath the feet of Ronald Reagan and Art Laff, when you broaden the base and lower the rate, the government raises more revenue. Okay? That's very important to remember. Okay? And that revenue comes from somewhere. It comes from economic growth. Okay? And so what Louisiana's tax code has never been positioned to do that, which is why we're always fighting in fits and starts. It's why the budget has grown like it has, because it's a system that forces us to deal with chaos, and you can't put order in place. This places us in order. It also, let me just tell you this too, my idea, and I shared this openly with legislators, is that my hope is that we crank up the economy and we do raise more revenue, and we take that revenue and we use it to further buy down the personal income tax and eliminate the personal income tax in Louisiana. To do that, we have to start somewhere. Okay. And so that's, at the end of the day, that's where we are.
The only two questions I have, and me and you went over this last time, I'm hearing there's going to be a spending cap, spending limiter, and I thought that's good. And so is that in here? And then number two, the only thing I don't really see, and you're going to fight me on this, and I'm not going to fight you, but I'm going to talk to you about it, is real spending cuts. Okay, because without real spending cuts, I think we got a problem.
I know, but let's talk about that. Me and you have gone back and forth over that. First of all, I'm not interested in what you say, a cut. What I'm interested in is creating efficiencies, eliminating duplicities, eliminating the waste, okay, or the abuse. But here's what people don't understand. See, legislators love to go, I got a couple of them need that. Well, let's just cut $450 million. I said, well, come on, help me. But you see, let me tell you what they don't tell you. Here's the dirty little secret inside the bureaucracy. The way we budget, my secretaries for my departments don't have the flexibility that, say, you do in your businesses or CEOs have in theirs, where they got a budget and then they can move money around through that budget. They can move personnel around. They can eliminate particular positions. The bureaucracy, it takes us, boom. It took me 4 months to get decent internet in the mansion because of the Office of Technology and Services. The bureaucracy is so entrenched and so thick and so, it's like a briar patch. And so what I need is some help from the legislature, okay, to start untying some of those things. And I talked to him yesterday about creating a fiscal responsibility task force. I also talked to him about maybe, look, we did it. We just put the legislature paid for it through their budget, a review of DOTD. And so if we take this, eating the elephant one bite at a time, then we're going to get to where you want to go. The problem me and you have had, and the problem me and the conservatives is that they view us the same way they view their businesses, which we should run it like a business, but they don't see the entanglement that we're dealing with. And so I'm going to hold those legislators who are screaming about the reduction in the budget accountable when it comes time for budget and say, this is a place that I need you to eliminate the APA. This is a place that I need you to give my secretaries more flexibility. This is a place. Let me tell you something. When I was at the AG's office, we empowered our employees. Because remember this. Let's bring all.
Hey, Governor, I got a hard break. Can you stay just a few more minutes? Okay,
yeah.
I'll come back and hold your thought on what you did at the AG. Hold your thought. We'll be right back. Governor Jeff Landry. With 5 Louisiana locations, I always make it a point to visit Superior Grill when I'm traveling in the great state of Louisiana. I love the food there. It's authentic Mexican food with a Louisiana twist. Their menu has all your favorites: nachos, quesadillas, enchiladas, tacos, fajitas, hand-cut steaks, and the best margaritas in the state. You can go to Superior for lunch or dinner, and folks, you're going to thank me for it. My lovely bride and I eat at Superior Grill every chance we get. They're on Line Avenue in Shreveport, Government Street and Highland Road in Baton Rouge, St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans, and on College Saloon in Lafayette. I'm talking great food, great service, and great margaritas. The best Mexican food with the Louisiana twist is found at Superior Grill, Shreveport on Line Avenue, Baton Rouge on Government Street and Highland Road, New Orleans on St. Charles Avenue, and College Saloon in Lafayette. This is Moon Griffon. I'll see you at Superior Grill. This is Moon Griffon. My good buddy Jeff and the folks at Hudco Roofing and Exteriors is Louisiana's premier professional roofing contractor, specializing in residential roofing services. Remember, your roof protects everything, you and your family, and most of your possessions. And that's where Hudco Roofing comes in. These folks aren't just your average roofers. They're the #1 roofing company in the state. Whether you need a repair or a brand new roof, Hudco Roofing has you covered. Hudco is a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master and takes every roof all the way down to the decking to make sure there are no hidden damages. Hudco Roofing is also a state-certified installer of the Fortified Roofing System, and that's a big deal. Anywhere in Louisiana, you can get a free roof inspection and quote from Hudco Roofing. Go to HudcoRoofing.com for quality workmanship, premium products, and unparalleled customer service. This is Moon Griffon. I trust Hudco Roofing of Louisiana, and so should you. HudcoRoofing.com. That's HudcoRoofing.com.
Everywhere you turn.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champagnes, located in the Oil Center. Champagnes, going the extra mile.
Hi, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, Matthew James, Business Tax Reduction Hotline. Honored to have Governor Jeff Landry, who joins us. We're going to keep one more segment. Hopefully we can get him in and out of here. All right, Governor, you were talking about efficiencies with the Attorney General's office. I think that's where we left off.
Yeah, as usual, Moon, you get me in trouble. My staff's looking at me.
I know, and look, I didn't want to do that, but I had a hard break, and you were talking, so that's no respect.
You got to make money too. Look. Let me tell you. Let me walk you through this. When I was Attorney General, remember, the governor and I didn't get along all that well, right? And the governor controls the budget, and he would always cut me disproportionately. I mean, you probably go back, and me and you had talked about it back in the early days. But I can tell you something. Bill Stiles and Liz Muro and all of the other great folks that we had working at the AG's office at the time, but between the three of us, we created a fiscal responsibility project. And we went to the employees and we said, listen, you find us savings and we are going to employ those savings in a way that we give some of that back to you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we went in there and eliminated so many things. I mean, I could give you lists after this. So as John Bell and them would cut our budget, we would just continue to roll. And they would scratch their head and be like, what are they doing? Why haven't we crippled them? But we ate what we killed. We created efficiencies. And here's a dirty little secret. We gave our employees like a 3% raise year after year after year. You know why? Because we empowered them to save the state money. But those are not things that we can do right now. The law doesn't allow them to do it. The law actually forces bureaucrats to spend money and to hide money and to pocket it and to waste it. And so those are things that are going to take time to unwind. And we got to have a discussion about it. We need to make sure that we do it in a way that continues to create guardrails, because those things were put in place to create some guardrails. But those same guardrails are what's hindering us today. It's like what I said in my speech. We have, over the decade after decade, dedicated funds to the point of dysfunctionality. which is what we're trying to do. We need that flexibility. We've got a good legislature. There are a lot of people that want to do the right thing. They've got good business sense. And so, again, it's going to take us some time. And listen, I fully expect you and the people that are listening out there to hold us accountable to do that. That's why I keep coming back on the show again and again. And so those are some things that I think we can do over the course of the next years. And I am thoroughly convinced that if we get this package passed and we get the constitutional amendment passed, that Louisiana is going to see some great economic process. I'm going to tell you something. We got some projects that are coming up quick, man. I'm going to be back on your show very shortly, and you're going to be like, wow, unbelievable.
Let me ask you a quick question.
We're moving forward.
This is kind of a threefold deal. You got special session. You got to get through that. You're going to have a constitutional vote, a constitutional amendment vote, and that's going to be big, too. And then you got the regular session where you got to deal with some tax stuff. So I'm telling people and let them know this is a long process. This is a minimum of 6 or 7 months just for this. Now, you mentioned North Carolina, Governor. I had a representative from North Carolina. They started working on it. It was about 2010, 2012. And he said every year they have to come back and do something else. Every year they add.
Yes.
Is there a, when we did tax reform, which we had nothing to do with, which I laughed at, I said, step in the right direction, craziness. We never done anything since. And it was insurance reform or tort reform. We did tort reform. And we never did anything. We never moved. We moved to the end. So you're going to have to keep doing something every year.
Well, let me ask you a question, Moon. You ever known me to just get up and just go play golf and not be able to find me? I mean, the biggest problem the legislature has is trying to keep me occupied enough so I don't bring them back in session to try to do something again. And so, yes, I am committed over the course of the next 4 years to make sure that we continue. And I expect that we're going to have to do exactly what that legislator from North Carolina said. Mm-hmm. And I have not found a legislator who has told me that they're not up for it as well. They just asked if we could do it in the regular session so we could bring them in these special sessions, and I'm hopeful that maybe we can.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. How far along would you be had you already got this done? In other words, you remember when you were working on talking about special session in August, and you were trying to talk about all this dedicated money.
It would be done.
That part would be done already.
I'd be duck hunting. We'd all be duck hunting. I mean, look, if we would have just tackled the Constitution like we wanted to, that was the whole idea. But look, Moon, I will take some blame. Maybe I didn't communicate that well enough. Maybe it was hard for them to see the vision. That falls on the leader to be able to get that vision over there. But that's okay. Look, we're going to get 30% of what we wanted to try to do in August. But you're right. We'd all be having a different discussion today and enjoying ourselves. But we're going to work all the way through next week, and maybe we'll finish a little earlier. And we're going to get this thing done.
Well, let me ask you a quick question. In this package that you proposed, does it take 100% like you wanted to get everything you need? Or they pass 70% we can get there? You see what I'm saying? Because I know things get negotiated. You know that and I know that. So what do you feel like?
You know what, Moon? It depends. That is unfortunately, that question is a subjective, not an objective question. Okay? What I keep telling the legislature is these are the numbers. This is where we got to get. How we get to that number, whether it's through these bills or a modification of those bills or less than the number of bills that we have, that's up to them. But if we hit the number, if when we're done, the tax foundation keeps us inside of that top 10 ranking, then that's an accomplishment. Yeah, that's the goal.
In a perfect world, if you got it all passed like you wanted, I've always asked this, and Jeff, it's a subjective question, but it's a real question. And the fact that I always ask elected officials, okay, when you get something like this passed, when will the Moon Griffons, a very middle-class guy, be able to notice and take effect where people can say, you know what, this is really working. We can not only feel it, we can see it.
Well, let me tell you something. I think that you're going to, a couple of things. Number one, I can't tell you when you're going to get the money right back into your pocket because I don't know when the bills are going to be effective. But I'll be able to tell you that once the session's over. But I can tell you this. You are going to feel the economic impact of this very shortly. Like, you are going to see the jobs. It is going to be demonstrable over the course of the next 12 months.
Yeah, I was going to give you a little bit more leeway than that. I was going to say by the end of your term, if you can get things done, because there's still one wrench in all this, and you're going to agree with this, and I'm hearing we're going to have a special session that's on insurance. There's still a wrench in this because of the insurance deal.
Yeah.
So,
but let me tell you something else, though, Moon. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you. What we're doing today does more to improve our insurance position than anything else. You ain't going to believe that. Okay, I know you won't, but I'm going to tell you why. Because insurance is a numbers game. Okay? And the less people you got in the state to insure, the higher your insurance you got to pay because you got the same amount of property. This brings people back into the state. The more people you bring back into the state, the more you spread the risk around, the lower the insurance is supposed to be. That's why you see states, big states, have lower insurance because they got a lot of people. You can spread the risk around. This does more for our insurance problem than anything else.
Well, but you do recognize you still have to go change some things on the insurance policy.
Yeah, no. Listen, we got it. We absolutely got a problem.
Okay.
We absolutely got a problem, and that's a whole other debate and a whole other issue that we're going to tackle. But I don't think you should miss the point. And the people out there that are listening, okay, because you get frustrated every time, and I do too. I pay those high insurance rates too. I got a 20-year-old son, okay?
Yep.
And let me just tell you, this. The 30,000 people that are leaving the state every year, all that does is increase the premium list because the pool shrinks.
Yep.
Okay? And guess what? When the average family income rises, right? Okay? You know what that means? That means that the people out there are making more money, the economy is flourishing, and so guess what? You get to spread insurance risk out there. That's how insurance works. But we're going to have a good, healthy debate on that once we get the tax reform done. How about that?
Yep. Well, I'm curious to see how all it breaks down. I know this has never been tried, so it maybe look funny to some people, but if they'll hang tight, let's see what happens. All right, Governor, appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime, as you know.
Thank you.
All right, man. Take care. All right, we got to go. 844-766-6607, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. One that works best for you. Whether you're an active duty, military, or veteran, you can take advantage of the exclusive VA construction loan offer. You can lock in 30-year fixed financing for as low as 3.875. How about that? Looking to stay in your home and start construction right away? A stay-in-your-home loan might be right for you. With this option, you can stay in your home during construction and not worry about moving twice. And for you first-time home buyers, we're not going to forget you. For a limited time, they're offering 30-year fixed financing as low as 3.875. Other financing offers include no-cost refinancing, conventional loans, and FHA construction loans. If you're thinking of building your dream custom home, there's no time like the present to start building. SchumacherHomes.com. SchumacherHomes.com. Let them build your dream home. They're building dream homes one at a time.
Our state is facing a budget shortfall, left over by the last governor. Jeff Landry in the legislature already cut $2 billion for spending we don't need. Now they have to deal with this shortfall, but they've got a plan to deal with that and move Louisiana forward. This is what Governor Landry said.
This Louisiana Forward Plan, when fully implemented by the legislature and ratified by the people of this state, will produce more jobs, a greater prosperity, lower our taxes, and bring us a sustainable budget.
This plan cuts taxes for the middle class and all taxpayers, with the income tax rate dropped to just 3%. Job creators can grow the economy with lower taxes. Families and senior citizens, no more prescription drug sales tax. A different tax system which focuses on choices, not labor. And the Louisiana voters, we get the final say. Fixing the shortfall, cutting taxes, growing our economy. Now that's moving Louisiana forward. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is great to be with you. 844-766-6607. If you want to be part of the program, it's your opportunity to be a voice. All righty. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. So I appreciate the governor coming on. Folks, somebody may ask, where are you on this thing? Look, I think it's great. A lot of it's got a lot of great things in it. I think that we need to watch the process. Governor even told me, he said, y'all need to stay on us, make sure we do it. I'm worried about the Senate. Cameron half-ass Henry. I'm going to say it while the governor's not here. They worry me. I'll tell you why. You want me to tell you one of the reasons that Henry is struggling with doing the right thing? I'm going to tell you exactly, folks. Cameron Henry is listening to Senator Jay Lunatic. There are a lot of people that are concerned that Senator Jay Lunatic, who is woke as any guy down there, is helping run the show. You don't want Jay Lunatic doing anything. You don't want him being around any leadership. And he's got a committee chair under Cameron half-ass Henry. So Jay Lunatic's a problem. Mike Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, he's a problem. Walker Yellow Belly Sapsucker Abraham is a problem. These guys are a problem. You ain't got to believe me if you want to. That's fine. But you're going to see they're a problem. They're old school, big government type people. And I don't care if they're Republicans or not. Lunatic is a hard-nosed belly was Democrat, so he's woke. So I don't know why Henry would allow Lunatic to get anywhere close to any kind of decisions you're making. Tell Lunatic, just go hide. Get out of the way. You don't even have to come if you don't want to. He's a problem. The Senate is a problem. And the Senate's going to stay a problem. When Hilario was a Senate president for 2,413 years, he was a problem. Okay? You're saying, well, you're endorsing Landry's plan. I'm endorsing the fact that we're trying to do something to change. I don't have to agree with everything. But I want to see what happens. I know the House is running and jumping up and down. There's an expenditure limit they're working on, not more than 2.5%, 3%. I get the only thing I worry about is, the only thing that I worry about is I just think it's hard to get stuff done if you're not cutting spending. That's the part that concerns me. You got to be able to cut spending. But, we'll see how it all breaks down. I'm not going to get in front of it. I'm not going to tell you what the thing does and don't do. I'm going to let them tell us. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But, Henry's a problem. Jay Lunatic's a problem. I cannot believe Henry would allow Jay Lunatic to be anywhere in the decision-making process. Okay? And of course, I had fun with him. I think if you're going to do all these services, trial lawyers ought to be taxed. I tell you what, when I look at advertisement on TV, look like to me they got the most money. They brag about the billions of dollars they get back from the people. Ain't none of that being taxed, folks. Maybe they need a big old fee on top of that. Big old sales tax, 10% on your billions of dollars. You realize if you add up all the lawyers that have advertised they made $1 billion for their customers, you're talking about probably $10 billion, and a 10% tax on that is on $10 billion is $1 billion. We got to have $1 billion more for state government. All these billions of dollars that trial lawyers are making. I'm just saying. It's one of those things that maybe we ought to tax that too. Jeff said he had no problem with it. The legislature put attorney fees. I think that would be a very good thing. If you're going to tax everybody else, why not tax them as well? So we'll see what happens in the whole process. By the way, I didn't ask Jeff about Trump calling him to come to this deal. Jeff made a comment that he's not going to work for Trump. John Fleming is the next one. Dr. Fleming, who is our state treasurer, he is the Trump administration. He had worked with the Trump administration. I don't know. I didn't talk to John, so I mean, I'd put words in his mouth either. But I hadn't heard him say pro, con, good, or bad that he would be interested. he worked with Trump for the 4 years he was in there. He was a congressman. He's a state treasurer. I don't know. And by the way, if something would happen to him, unlike the governor, you got to realize if Fleming was to go, then there got to be a special session called for the treasurer. But if Governor Landry would go, and he's not going, that's the word that I got, you would not have a special session, a special election for governor. You go, why not? Well, we elected a lieutenant governor. His name is Billy Nungesser. His job is to be governor if something ever happens to the governor. You elect, and here's the difference, you elected him. The state treasurer, the secretary of state, you didn't elect a lieutenant secretary of state. So with that, you got to have another election. So I have no idea. I have not talked to Fleming since I had him on the program a month ago or 3 weeks ago or whatever. And so I have no idea if he's really interested in this. These are names that are being thrown out. Garrett Graves' name has been thrown out there. Things like that. So I don't have a clue if Fleming is really interested in doing this or not. His name has been touted. There's going to be a lot of Republicans want to challenge Psycho Bill Cassidy, which is good because Psycho Bill's going down. He can't win. He's going to get smoked in a closed primary. Just trust me on it. He's going to get smoked. Okay? He's going to get really smoked. And so there was an article, Stephanie Grace is trying to write an article about how, trying to write an article on how Psycho Bill Cassidy could be a major player and the fact that he could keep Trump in check. Really? That's the gist of the article I read. Oh, they talked about other stuff. But Psycho Bill could be the one that could really challenge Trump. Well, he better challenge him quick because in 2 years he's not going to be there. No way. And don't worry about all the money he's raising. Liz Cheney did the same thing. She raised the same amount of money. By the way, everybody's been asking, Mike Johnson's come on this program to speak at the House and announce and said the Republicans will win. According to reports I got, they're at the 218 now. Republicans take control of the House of Representatives. They're at 218. There's still 10 or 12, at least 12 seats in the House that have not been called yet. And so I'm going to predict they're going to be somewhere around 222. Now, the other problem you got is President Trump has already plucked a couple congressmen, or at least asked them to come in his staff. And so that doesn't work in favor of us, but at 222, you still got 220. You still got the majority of the vote. Okay? You still got the majority of the vote. But you got to be careful. There was talk of plucking some senators off, too. And the president has to work with the Congress because, and especially the Republicans, you can't take away senators and House members. You can't take them away, and then you have a supermajority. Not a supermajority, but a majority. So you got to be careful. Start taking people away, and all of a sudden your majority goes down, and you don't have the votes because, trust me, there's always a smart aleck Republican somewhere who's not going to vote the way you want them to vote. Just trust me on that. That's going to happen. All right, so, all right, Walker says that's it. We'll take a break. When we get back, Stephen Paul. The reason I'm bringing the comments on, Lee Zeldin has been picked to head up the EPA and get his comments on Lee Zeldin, what he believes on the stupidity of climate change. I'm hoping Trump rips every penny and every tax credit totally out on carbon capture, windmill, and solar farms. I'm hoping and praying. And the EV mandate, that's got to go, and our car prices will go down. All that and more. Don't go nowhere.
The Moon Griffon merchandise store is now open. Go to moongriffon.com right now and click on merchandise. There you'll find men's tees, ladies' tees, polos, fishing shirts, lounge pants, hats, and more. Through November 15th, a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Cajun Navy hurricane relief efforts. Show your love for the Moon Griffon Show by purchasing some Moon Griffon merch. Go to moongriffon.com right now and click on merchandise.
Hey, folks, it's Jew.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pro Studio.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Chris Foster. A judge in New York City postpones a ruling on whether to toss out President-elect Trump's criminal hush money conviction over a Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity.
Judge Juan Merchan has decided to delay his ruling until next Tuesday after President-elect Trump's lawyers asked for the case to be dismissed so their client can run the country. Prosecutors agreed to the delay. Judge Merchan had been set to rule on their earlier request that Trump's conviction on 34 felony counts be thrown out. They have argued that because of the Supreme Court's ruling, the hush money jury got some evidence it shouldn't have, such as Trump's presidential financial disclosure form and testimony from some White House aides. In New York City, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
And President-elect Trump is getting ready to stock his cabinet.
Fox learning overnight that he is expected to nominate Florida Senator Marco Rubio to be his Secretary of State. It wasn't that long ago we saw Trump and Rubio gunning for each other in the 2016 election. Since then, they've forged closer ties. Also new this morning, sources telling Fox Trump plans to pick South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem to head the Department of Homeland Security. She was once considered to be on the short list for a potential vice presidential role, but she faced considerable blowback earlier this summer after admitting in a memoir to shooting her dog, who she said had become unruly.
Fox's Mark Meredith. There's still 16 House races uncalled by Fox, but Republicans are on track to maintain control in addition to winning the White House and Senate. Majority Whip Tom Emmer.
The time for failed policies that have wreaked havoc on hardworking Americans for the last 4 years is over. The time for proven leadership is now.
The Senate majority is 53-47. Democrat Ruben Gallego beats Republican Kerry Lake in Arizona. The man accused of murdering Georgia nursing student Laken Riley waives his right to a jury trial and wants a judge to decide the case. Jury selection was supposed to start tomorrow for Jose Ibarra's trial. He entered the U.S. illegally from Venezuela in 2022. America's listening to Fox News.
I know it's hard to believe, but Christmas is right around the corner. And if you're thinking about what gift to get the firearms enthusiast that may be on your list this year, I highly recommend. I love this company. The rifles, the shotguns, the revolvers, made right here in America by our friends at Henry Repeating Arms. Now, they've got 200 models to choose from, a wide variety of calibers and styles and prices, and you cannot go wrong with any of them. They're a great company. The easiest way to check out Henry's Firearms is to get a copy of their free holiday gift guide. Just go to their website. It's henryusa.com. Click on the catalog button in the top right-hand corner. They will mail the gift guide and a few decals, and it won't cost you a penny. So if you want to put something made in America under your Christmas tree, make sure you order the free gift guide and get free decals from Henry USA today. That's henryusa.com. For a free gift guide and decals, henryusa.com. You're going to love this company. I love it.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Every day at 5 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. It's me, Joe Cunningham, with The Joe Cunningham Show, offering you news, analysis, and commentary you're not going to get anywhere else. The big news stories of the day, and even some of the headlines you may not be aware of. It's your local, state, and national news coverage from a local perspective right here. Every day, News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Check us out, The Joe Cunningham Show, every day at 5 p.m.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is a great day to be back with you. Terrific Tuesday, beautiful day. Got a little cool weather, man. It's all good. Made some homemade chili last night. Of course, I made it from Raging Cajun. My good friends at Raging Cajun. It's good. You'd never know. You would never know. All righty. Republicans take control of the House, the Senate. Donald Trump, gigantic landslide mandate by the American people. Enough of this crap. Part of coming into play is all this green new craziness that I talk about a lot. The reason I do is because you need to be informed. They're lying. And the gentleman that's helped me do that is, of course, my climate czar, Stephen Paul. Stephen, how you doing?
Doing great, Moon. It's a wonderful week, isn't it?
It's an awesome week. You know, one of the reasons I invited you is because I figured you were at the United Nations annual climate talk. Are you there now?
Oh, no, Moon. I didn't want to spend all that carbon dioxide on the plane ride over. So
see, you were responsible.
I decided to stay.
You were responsible. That's what I like about you. Gee whiz, what a bunch of nut freaks. But listen, it's a new day, new sheriff in town coming. And I wanted to get you on the air because I saw where he appointed Lee Zeldin, I think, to head up the EPA. And he's kind of a no-nonsense guy, and he's got beliefs. And I thought, let me get your take on him first, and is this a good pick, and what you think about him being trying to stop some of this craziness dealing with the Green New Deal?
Well, let me go through his tweet that he put out as soon as he was announced the EPA administrator. Lee Zeldin, a former congressman from New York, he ran for governor of New York and lost to Kathy Hochul as a Republican. He spent 4 terms in the House of Representatives. He put out a tweet as soon as he was named the EPA administrator, and I really think that this tweet that he put out gives exactly where his priorities are and what he hopes to accomplish as the head of the EPA. And I wanted to go through that real quick.
Yeah.
He said, "It's an honor to join President Trump's cabinet as EPA administrator. We will restore U.S. energy dominance, revitalize our auto industry to bring back American jobs, and make the U.S. the global leader of AI. We will do so while protecting access to clean air and water." Now notice the order that he put that stuff in. He's talking about we're going to make the economy great, and we're going to do that while protecting clean air and water. So he is not going to put the environment, the worship of the environment, ahead of the utility of the economy, if that makes sense. That's one of my complaints about people on the left, is that they basically become worshipers of the planet at the expense of the well-being of humans. And Lee Zeldin's put that in the other way around. He starts off saying U.S. energy dominance. Moon, we cannot become dominant in energy if we aren't fracking, if we aren't drilling for oil and natural gas.
Correct.
We can't become energy dominant simply relying on wind and solar. I don't think we can become energy dominant without investing in modern nuclear technologies. And I think Lee Zeldin's hint there is we're going to make sure that we're producing the energy we need to produce. We will do it in a responsible way, but we're going to produce the energy. And I think that's a bright spot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One of the things he talked about was the automobile manufacturing. And the one step they can take, no more mandates of EV. If you don't want to make them, don't make the dang things. Matter of fact, if you don't want to ever make them, don't make them. You make what sells to the American people. And I guarantee you, they could cut a lot of our tax dollars going and a lot of people's money that's going to buy a vehicle that's way overpriced because you're not mandated with the EVs. Wouldn't that make a big difference when you bought a car? Wouldn't people see almost instantly a car of a combustion engine go down thousands of dollars? I think they would.
Absolutely, because right now Ford is losing $5 billion a year on their electric vehicle fleet. Okay, so they are losing something like $55,000 for every single electric vehicle they sell. And they're having to do it because the EPA's put in the mandates, the state of California's put in mandates. Because California's put in mandates, there are other states that copy what California does, to include the state of Virginia. And what Lee Zeldin is saying is, if we're going to revitalize our auto industry, you have to get rid of the EV mandate. You have to let the market do what the market's going to do so that we can bring back American jobs. If we continue mandating electric vehicles for the auto industry, all we're really going to do is destroy our auto industry and hand that entire business over to China. Because China will build massive factories in Mexico to create cheap electric vehicles that, don't go very far, but are at least less expensive than American electric vehicles. And
yeah, but Trump will take care of that.
Ford and GM out of business.
Yeah, Trump will take care of that. He can put a tariff on them. They're going to cost more than our vehicles, and I think that would be the thing to do.
I think that's part of it.
Yep.
So this is the second thing that out of those three little things, the statements that he said: energy dominance, revitalize our auto industry. I agree with you 100%. That is a signal that the EV mandates are going away and that the EPA is going to get out of the business of trying to tell you what car you can buy.
Yeah.
And then the last one, and people may not pick up on this, make the U.S. the global leader of AI, artificial intelligence. What does the EPA have to do with artificial intelligence? Well, in the world of computing, nothing demands more power than AI. Nothing. You cannot create the AI infrastructure that the future of the industry is saying they want to create without natural gas. You can't do it right now. We cannot generate that kind of electricity on simply wind and solar. So if you want to be the global leader of artificial intelligence, you have to be the global leader of energy production, because the amount of energy that's required to do the amount of calculations that are required for AI is massive.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. I keep hearing there's so much energy, so much is going to be involved in that. So, it's I got to tell you, I'm excited about that part of it. I think they've ruined the lives of people, farmers. I mean, this carbon capture. When are they going to shut this down? Can they shut it down? Can they say the tax credit's over? You want to invest in that? You're on your own. Most people wouldn't invest in any of the stuff we talked about. It's all because of federal money and subsidies and tax breaks. So how do you shut that down where Americans are off the hook? And I don't care what people believe. If you're getting money from the federal government, you're getting it from me. Why can't we do talk shows? You're a talk show host. Why can't they do tax breaks for you and me? Why can't we get $100,000 a year for the next 10-year deal? I don't want it, but that's what they're getting.
Right, and that's what they're doing. And this problem of the government getting involved into any industry is that it basically lies to the marketplace, and it tells the marketplace things that simply aren't true. The government is trying to tell the marketplace that carbon capture is a viable, survivable industry. It is not, because it doesn't actually produce any benefit to anyone. Just taking carbon dioxide out of the air and shoving it a mile down under the ground, nobody's life is made better for that. And yet that's what the government is insisting upon. One of the problems, though, is that the funding that comes from the carbon capture came from the Infrastructure and Jobs Act, which was massively supported by Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy.
Yep, big time.
Bill Cassidy is proud of that, and every time Bill Cassidy comes back to the state of Louisiana, he's telling people, hey, I'm bringing all this money back to the state of Louisiana. Aren't I a good guy? Because look at all this government spending, all this government cheese I'm dumping here in Louisiana. Now, he's not willing to admit that his dumping of government cheese in Louisiana is one of the big things, one of the three big bills that caused the spike in inflation up to 9%, a total of 25% over the Biden administration.
Oh, yeah. No, he won't admit that at all.
As long as Bill Cassidy is able to continue voting in the U.S. Senate, and we only have a 2-vote margin in the U.S. Senate, we may not be able to undo some of that carbon capture because it's already passed. The spending's already there. You would have to undo it, and that's Bill Cassidy's baby. That's how he's planning on getting reelected, because he can't get reelected with Trump support. He's got to get reelected by bringing home the bacon.
Well, his problem is he's not going to get reelected. He's polling in the low teens in the Republican Party. He's got to go through a closed primary. He can buy all the votes he wants to. I'm telling you right now, he's going to get smoked. But I do agree with you. He is using this. He's running around giving out federal money, calling himself a conservative. This needs to go. I just don't know what the president can do with, and he may not can do anything with executive orders dealing with that. I know he can do get rid of mandates with the EVs. I know he can do that. I know he can restart the Keystone Pipeline. I know he can do that.
And Lee Zeldin, as head of the EPA, can get rid of some of these carbon capture mandates. Yeah. Again, some of this comes from regulation from the EPA, saying that if you are creating if you have a manufacturing plant, if you have a power generating plant, you have to capture that carbon dioxide, shove it into a pipeline, send that halfway across the country, all the way down to Louisiana, so that they can shove it in the ground under Lake Maurepas. If you get rid of that EPA mandate, well, you've gotten rid of a large portion of the incentive for carbon capture in the first place. Lee Zeldin has the ability to do that as the head of the EPA with changing some of these restrictions and some of these executive orders.
Yeah. Let me take a break. His name is Stephen Parr. He's my climate czar, but he's American Ground Radio. He works for Salem Media. Joe Piscopo in New York. He's the man. All right, we got to take a break. Be right back. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Don't go anywhere.
If you've got some projects to do around the house and you need the voice of experience, of local voice, somebody that can help you and knows Louisiana, you need to check out Stein Home & Yard. They're a Louisiana company, founded, established here. They've been based here. Their story dates back all the way to 1946. Stein Home & Yard has all the things you need to make your house ready for fall. Great deals on fall plants like mums, as well as all sorts of handy items you need for your house. Need to upgrade your power tool game? They've got great deals on DeWalt power tools. They also have great deals on grills for your next tailgate for the big game this weekend. Traeger pellet grills, Weber grills, Charbroil, so many great brands, and it's all right there at your fingertips. Just pull them up, steinhome.com. Steinhome.com is where you need to go to find the greatest deals on your home improvement needs. Steinhome.com, a great Louisiana company.
My husband and I were invited to a 50th wedding anniversary. I noticed this little lady, and she was basically sitting alone. Her daughter turned to me just as I came over to introduce myself, and she said, "My mother has Alzheimer's." She had not said her daughter's name in 2 years. She didn't recognize her. I said, "Listen, we might be able to help her." And about 3 weeks later, they show up. We gave her 5 days of treatment. This lady, each day got a little better and a little better. She started flirting with the guys. She was so cute. My friend said, "You're smiling a lot." And she said, "They make those here." The next day, says out loud, "Martha, would you get me a cup of coffee, please?" Her daughter, Martha, breaks down crying because her mother hadn't said her name in 2 years.
Learn more about treatment for Alzheimer's at SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com. Springfield Wellness Center.
Do you crave Atlas Foundation Repair? 800-256-1010. Louisiana-owned Atlas Foundation Repair. 800-256-1010. Call Tony Arpino. I have known him for years. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Thank you for being with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. It is a Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. Don't forget, we're giving away cane rubber pecans at the end of this hour. Couple choices. So email me, moon@moongriffon.com. If you ever get the cane rubber pecan winner, you going to be pumped. It is so good. All righty, Stephen Parr, my special guest. Stephen, so you like to pick Are there any things you can think of that you would like to see them really do? And let me throw one other thing at you. I think President Trump ought to get about 500 to 1,000 scientists like, you're not a scientist, but scientists, people that know what you know, meteorologists, whatever. And every time they stick their heads out and say Trump's going to run the planet and all that, he ought to have his information and put these people out there. Because the debate about global warming and man-made global warming has never been made in public because the media, the Democrats, won't let it happen. Let's get everybody out there and get the truth. They would get embarrassed. People that talk about the things you do, where they don't go back but a few years, and they don't go back the whole process and the truth about carbon dioxide. So don't you think he ought to have those people lined up, ready to go, and every time, because they're going to beat him up on it, you may as well put people out there that can articulate the whole thing.
Yeah, Dr. Judith Curry, Dr. Willie Soon. There are a lot of people that are, scientists, professors that have rigorous backgrounds that have looked at global warming, and when it's not carbon dioxide, it is not man's fault. There are other things at play, and we got to be paying attention to those. Joe Bastardi is another very good one, an excellent meteorologist for many years. But there are, people say the debate is settled. It's not. It never has been. And by the way, that's not how science works. You asked, what is something that I really wish the EPA would do under the Trump administration? I wish the EPA would put out a statement saying carbon dioxide is not a poison.
Yeah. But hold on, let me stop you. But then have all these people to back it up. And now when CNN nuts up, or one of these stupid media, you put these people on there. They can have their people too, but their people are going to be totally embarrassed.
Completely embarrassed. There's a reason why Al Gore has never once debated somebody about climate change. It's because he can't.
Yeah.
He cannot do it. And look, you don't even have to put him up against a PhD. Just Al Gore and I had a conversation about it. I could point out climate change has been disproved scientifically in both magnitude and methodology, in that the temperature has never risen as quickly as all of Al Gore's UN climate models said it would. He won that Nobel Peace Prize. Some of the people he shared that Nobel Peace Prize came up with all these different climate models, every single one of which has been wrong in how warm the planet was supposed to be. They've all said it should be warmer than it currently is. And two, it's wrong in methodology. All of those models depend upon a feedback loop between carbon dioxide and water vapor in the atmosphere, but they ignore the role of clouds and they ignore the role of rain. Rain acts as a thermostat on the atmosphere, and that as it gets too hot, the temperatures are rising, so air rises. As air rises, it cools, turns into rain. Rain falls. The evaporative process of rain cools the atmosphere down below. So when it overheats, it usually cools back down because of rain. That's a global phenomenon. That's just how physics works. But the climate models don't take that into account. They all say the bulk of the warming that should have occurred over the last 150 years should have occurred in the middle layers of the atmosphere around the equator. Moon, that is not where most of the warming has occurred over the last 150 years. It's occurred at the surface of the northern hemisphere, not the southern hemisphere, the northern hemisphere. The reason why it's occurred at the surface of the northern hemisphere is that's where the bulk of the land is, and land heats up faster than water does, especially if the cause of the global warming is coming from the sun.
Yeah.
If the sun is the cause of the global warming, you would expect the surface of the northern hemisphere to be the warmest part, or the part of the world that is warming faster. That's what the data shows. That's not what Al Gore is willing to talk about, and it has nothing to do with carbon dioxide.
But do you agree with me that Trump should position a team of people, scientists, meteorologists, whatever, and send them out there with the truth? Send them out there and tell them, look, go on every TV show, every radio program, because you have to be able to play the other side. Barack Obama and the gang and the media say this is it, it's settled. That's nuts. But our side does never get to state their case on any of these talking shows and media.
I'd ignore the TV at this point. I'd say go on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Go on.
Good point.
Go on some of these other podcasts, and not even right-wing podcasts. Just neutral, everyday people.
They want to get the young people. They want to get the young people too. You got to go anywhere they can go, and every chance they get to start setting this straight, so we can get rid of the craziness.
Right. There's no reason to send Judith Curry onto The View.
Yeah.
One, nobody's watching it, and two, the people on The View don't want to learn. But you put it onto a podcast where the host of the podcast has a large audience, and the host
Steve, we got to go.
Curious about the world.
Yeah, we got to go. God bless. Thank you. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you. Or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks. Oh, they're good.
The sun has never raised its rates, but your local energy company sure has. Solar Louisiana can install residential home solar systems with huge battery storage, or they can add batteries to your existing system. If there's an outage, you're sitting pretty with all the electricity you need. Imagine an electric bill so low, you can pay it with pocket change you find in the couch. Solar Louisiana has the experience you need to make the right decision. Online at solarlouisiana.net. Your energy independence company, Solar Louisiana.
I've been bragging about Dino Hardwoods for a long time. A good friend, Charles Altman. They do an excellent job. And if you're looking for unique or hard-to-find hardwood lumber, plywood, and molding, is Dino Hardwoods. That's where you need to go. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Trust Dino Hardwoods for all your hardwood lumber and cypress needs. With the holiday season fast approaching, as you know, a timeless handmade gift using quality lumber by Dino just means more. With 3 great locations to serve you now, Broussard, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, and now he's expanded in Tyler, Texas. Folks, there's something for every discerning woodworker at Dino. Go to DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com, and check out the unique and hard-to-find hardwood, lumber, plywood, and molding that you can't just find anywhere. Charles Altman, trust me, is not a better man in the business. He knows what he's doing, and he wants to service you. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com.
If you live this hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, you can email me, moon@moongriffon.com. Don't forget the Cane Rubicon giveaway. Got 2 winners. We'll pick that in just a little bit. We're going to drink some wine. But first of all, y'all know I had Jeff Landry on it at 9. Well, I got Jeff Landry on at 10:35 too. Jeff Landry of Landry Vineyard. Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Moon. How you doing?
Now, look, if I accidentally get off the subject and ask you about tax reform, just bring me back into the wine.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked to quote on various cases and various legislation.
No, it's all cool, man. You got to say I know of another Jeff Landry, 2 more Jeff Landrys here. One's in the real estate, and one my son Walker's the producer. He had a good friend of his that played ball together, his daddy. So look, I got to get to Jeff Landry right. I'm going to do that because let's talk about a little bit of wine because, when I think of wine and I think of vineyards and stuff like that, I don't even think about it in Louisiana. But I want people to know we got one in Louisiana in the northern part. So talk a little bit about what you're doing because you're a great Louisiana product.
Well, first of all, you can grow grapes in just about every state in the United States now. And I'm speaking of wine grapes. These are hybrids that are disease and fungus resistant. So, it's a new time. It's a different time than it has been in the past where it was more of a challenge, but it's still somewhat of a challenge. But we have these hybrids that we can grow now. We've been growing wine grapes now for 25 years. We started off in Folsom, Louisiana. Libby and I are both from St. Charles Parish. and looking for something we could do as a family. We planted some grapes. There was a winery that started in Bush, Louisiana, right north of Covington. Pontchartrain Vineyards, the guy was very passionate about growing grapes. John Seago, and a great pioneer in our industry. And he did a fantastic job. Really appreciated what he was doing. And I told Libby, after explaining to her, if we could we'd moved to the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain. I took a job up there. And I told her, I said, if we could take the raw product, add value to it and stability, this will work really well as a small family farm. Now, I was doing engineering for a living. I worked for Nelson Engineers in New Orleans, a great firm. Worked in the industrial sector. And, I told her about this model, and then we stumbled across that winery. I said, this is it. This is what I want to do. She said, you're crazy because that means you want a winery. And anyways, that's how we got started. It's a much longer story. We do tours every Saturday and tell our story and really show people our commitment to growing grapes here in Louisiana.
Yeah, it's no doubt about it, but the growing grapes leads to producing wine and things of that nature. So let's talk about the wines. Let's talk about where people can get them, the stores they're in maybe, and things of that nature. Let's talk about the product you're selling.
Well, we produce, I think we're up to 24 different wines. Again, we've been doing it for 25 years. Not everything is produced from our property. We do grow muscadines, but we also grow these hybrids. Blanc du Bois is our number one. It produces a wonderful wine that we can be proud of here in Louisiana, a white wine. But yeah, we produce. We came to North Louisiana after Hurricane Katrina. It really was just a great opportunity for us to grow in a much better region for growing grapes than prior here. And we came here back in 2006 at approximately 5,000 gallons of production. And thanks to the Louisianians, their great support, we're now over 200,000 bottles a year. So we're so grateful to our fellow people of Louisiana.
And no doubt about it, man. That's just an awesome story. I love to hear great stories from small businesses, a growing story. Are you selling the wine? Is just can people go in a retail store? They order it from y'all. Talk a little bit about the producing and production and the sales of it. Right.
All of the above. We have a tasting room that we operate in West Monroe, Louisiana, in the country. It's beautiful, beautiful hills, so they can purchase there. We get people. Hey, you break,
Jeff, you're breaking up on me, bad. You were doing good, and boom, we lost you.
Okay, how about now?
That's perfect right now.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, we have a retail outlet. In other words, it's a tasting room. And the tasting room is open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5:30. We have cottages on site, RV spots. So people come from all over the state and visit us. And we love that. That is so important to our success in the future. We plan to continue this on. Lord willing, we want to continue this winery and pass it on to the next generation. But, yes, in the stores throughout Louisiana, we're in over 650 stores throughout Louisiana. So a lot of independents that are really faithful and supporting us. Of course, some of the chains, Rouse's has our wines. So we're distributed, and yes, you can come to the tasting room, and we encourage people to do that. Especially with the music events we do and everything, spring and fall, we do a lot out there to really get people to come in. But you can come year-round and do a tasting and do a tour and stay in our cottages year-round.
Okay, we lost you in the last little second again. What did you say at the end of the deal?
Yeah, that people can come and stay in the cottages, do a tasting and tour. We do every Saturday. I do a tour at 2:00 where I take them through the whole operation. It's like an hour and a half tour, a really thorough tour.
So will it have the Landry name on it? What about when they go in? What are they asking for?
Oh yeah, it's always got Landry Vineyards. Okay. You can search the web. You can go in your stores and ask for Landry Vineyards. We still discover people that don't know about us after 25 years of doing this. We were just in Thibodauxville, at Thibodauxville, Southdown Plantation. We send people.
Hey, Jeff, we're breaking up again. Jeff, I don't know why. You're just coming and going, brother.
stopped and I wore I think I wore my knee out.
You're pretty good. You're good right now. Yes, sir. You were talking about you just Thibodeau. People don't hit a name yet, but it's a great Louisiana company. It's a lot to just selling wine for you guys.
Yep. Landry Vineyards is you can find us on the web, find us everywhere. Just search for Landry Vineyards. Go to our website, LandryVineyards.com, and you can learn all about Landry Vineyards.
Yeah, you are. This is kind of your time of year too, right now through the holidays, I'm sure, huh?
Oh man, I mean it's this is OND, we call it in the wine world. October, November, December.
Okay.
And so yes, this is a critical time for success for selling wine. This is when people consume the most wine. But we still do well throughout the year. But this is definitely critical at this time of the year.
Are y'all marketing outside the state as well, Jeff?
We are not. We don't sell outside the state of Louisiana other than direct to the consumer. Okay. We only distribute in Louisiana. I mean, it's an uphill battle. Let me tell you, it's a fight here in Louisiana to get shelf space. The big boys incentivize the entire deal, okay? Yeah. And it really makes it difficult for small producers like us. So this is where we have the advantage with our people in Louisiana. We certainly need their support.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I would highly recommend they support y'all. Great company, folks. Great Louisiana company. Good, really, really, really good wine. They know how to do it right. And, Jeff, once again, give out your website and add one more thing about the tours, how to come to North Louisiana, Saturday tours, all the things that you talk about one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, number one, just go to LandryVineyards.com and explore our website because you're going to find out all the different things that we offer there. And yes, please come see us. We love having people from Louisiana come, of course, everywhere, but we want the people of Louisiana to come and see, to taste and see and enjoy what we're doing at Landry Vineyards. So tours every Saturday at 2 o'clock. We're open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5:30. You can book a cottage and stay with us on premise, overlooking the vineyards. If you have an RV, we got a spot for you. Come and enjoy the vineyards, overlooking the vineyards. And we promise that we will give you our very typical Louisiana hospitality. Louisiana is so famous for. Louisiana hospitality.
Yeah, you got the South Louisiana in y'all and the North Louisiana in y'all, so I know you know how to serve people. And so, hey, Jeff, always a pleasure. Let's do it again in a few weeks. God bless you, man. God bless your family and your business. We're another great Louisiana company we love to push. Thank you, sir.
Lord bless you too, Moon. We really appreciate everything you do. I love your critical thinking and helping us to think through things and getting Louisiana moving in the right direction. Thank you for your service.
No, I appreciate it. I'm humble you said that. May I ask you some political questions next time? All right, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. More to come on the Moon Griffon Show. Nestled in gently rolling hills in North Louisiana is a place that produces the finest Louisiana wines around, Landry Vineyards. This place is phenomenal. Not only are they passionate about growing wine grapes and making Landry Vineyards wine, they also have cottages and RV sites you can rent, tours, and live music on Saturdays and tastings Monday through Saturday. Available in over 650 stores throughout Louisiana, I encourage you to visit and try Landry wine direct from Landry Vineyards. This is another great Louisiana company that has my full support, and they're Louisiana certified. A red blend they labeled Bayoutage, Blackberry Merlot, Cabs, Rosé, Petit Syrah, dry and sweet whites, and many, many other wines. Learn more about their wines and their vineyard online at LandryVineyards.com. This is Moon Griffon. My lovely bride and I love the wines from this great Louisiana company, Landry Vineyards, and so will you. Go visit their beautiful winery and find them in your local grocery store. If they don't have Landry Vineyards wine, ask and ask again. LandryVineyards.com. Woo, good wine right here.
It started with direct messages. That's how they got to my son. Gavin was just 17 and looking forward to college. He was contacted by online predators pretending to be a teenage girl. He was the victim of sexual extortion. In less than 2 hours after that first message, Gavin died by suicide. It's a pain I don't want any other parent to feel. Social media is causing an epidemic of bullying, anxiety, and depression, and it's leaving kids vulnerable to the kind of predators that targeted my son. We have to hold big tech accountable and pass the Kids Online Safety Act. I couldn't protect my son, but now it's my mission to make sure all kids are protected. I'm a father and a proud conservative, and I'm here to tell Speaker Johnson, pass the Kids Online Safety Act, because nothing is more important than protecting our kids.
Paid for by Issue One Action, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. IssueOneAction.org.
Say rage.
Hey, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. What a great day to be with you. Beautiful day. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. Your opportunity to be a voice on the Moon Griffon Show. All righty, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline, as always. So, a couple of things real quick. My comments are, Trump could do so much to get rid of EV mandates and all that stuff and crazy. Here's the thing. You can go buy one, but let's not expect or make people do that. That's the way we're going to save the automobile manufacturing. Folks, that's how we're going to save it. We're going to save it one way. Okay? We're going to save it one way. And that's to get the EV mandates off of these companies and let them build what they want to build. That's why I think Donald Trump, in my opinion, President Trump has got to get his experts on these podcasts and everything saying, look, see, the thing, I might have Steve Malloy on too in the next hour a little bit, but President Trump has got to get these experts out there. But carbon dioxide and all that, and because Trump, this is why people like Barack Hussein Obama say it's settled science. Okay? There's a reason they say it's settled science. They don't want anybody at all to ever question it. And this stuff is in the universities. This stuff is in the high schools. This stuff is all over us. And it's being peddled as the truth. And it's not the truth. It's an outright lie. And we're going to give up our freedoms and everything. So for what reason? On a lie? You know, our vehicle prices, folks, have a lot to do with the inflationary and the money they printed. But when you go to the automobile manufacturing places, or should I say our car dealerships, okay, the manufacturers are being told you got to jack up the price over here because you're going to lose over here. That's not a winning combination for anybody. It's a lie. So if President Trump, I'd get some of the best people. Malloy, I thought Malloy and them worked on a transition. I'll talk to him a little bit, but Malloy and them did a great job of embarrassing these people and Al Gore and all these nutted up people. We need to get away from this. But see, our young people being taught this. So Stephen Paul was right. They don't have to go on TV and MSNBC. You got to go where the universities are learning stuff. Let go debate in the universities. They're going to embarrass these people that are telling these kids this. Totally embarrass them. You got to get the younger generation looking up and say, man, this is a lie. I've been told a lie all my life. Yeah, by your government and by your media. And every time you vote with them, you make it worse. So this is gigantic. Look, folks, I never said they shouldn't make electric vehicles. You want a golf cart, you go buy one. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But the mandates that they put on these vehicle places with mileages and all this stuff is absolutely ridiculous. And if we're going to be energy independent, we got to be energy independent in the things that work, not some pie sky dream out there that really is not even a dream except to destroy the United States of America. Barack Obama, you know, you never say, how many of you people watch TV and have seen an argument between the pro-climate, nutted-up crisis people and people who really know what's going on, people that really understand this. You don't never see, you never notice that? Why? They don't want that side out there. They want, just like with COVID, this is what the government said, wear a mask, 6 foot distance, shut your business down, only let 25% of the, all that was a lie. None of that had any truth to it. I never said COVID couldn't kill you, not from this microphone. I understand, being married to a nurse, my mom was a nurse too, a virus will wipe you out if you don't try to do something about it. I get that. Wearing a mask. I had people on my own radio audience mad as hell at me about the mask. Get off the mask, get off the mask. Why? Why should I get off the mask when it was such a lie? By the way, the winners, Rodney Bosco of Stonewall and Mark Matthews of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, are the winners of the Cane River pecans. So they'll ship that out today or tomorrow. You'd have an opportunity to eat some great pecans. So that's one thing. I noticed something else. We got a problem in the Senate in Baton Rouge, but we got a problem maybe in the Senate in Washington. Trump needs a Senate president that's strong and would do what we need to do. And John Thune ain't it, buddy. John Cornyn ain't either. If you want Mitch McConnell light, that's what you're going to get. And I don't understand this. There was a mandate in the Senate. There was a mandate in the House. There was a big mandate in the presidential election. We have to do something totally opposite of what the Biden, Harris, and Obama administration did to this country. You got to be tough. And if you're going to be a give in guy like John Thune's going to be, he don't need to be there. Him and President Trump's going to be fighting before they even take office. I know y'all going to blame Trump. But, man, we need somebody that understands, that's willing to fight for the country. And Thune ain't it. Yet that's the one that's, quote, leading the charge to become the Senate president. I like Rick Scott. I was talking to Joe. He's not a Rick Scott guy, but I want a conservative. I want somebody that's going to fight with Trump, not against Trump. We got to have Republicans to fight with Trump, not against Trump. He got a mega mandate. Only 11 states even voted for the Democrats. I just don't want to go through this again. Republicans govern. I wish in one area they were like the Democrats. When they did that, they ran it. They running with their agenda, because the Republican agenda, it's a mandate. It was sent to you to quit doing what we've been doing. I mean, I don't know how hard this is, but apparently with Republicans, it's always hard, because you got Liz Cheney and Bill Cassidy type Republicans. Liz Cheney, I was watching the deal. She said, I'm a conservative. In what area? But she said, I'm not a Trump Republican. Well, guess what? You're not a conservative either, honey. Remember, your candidate was Kamala Harris. That was your candidate. That's you and Dad, old Dick Cheney. That's y'all candidate. Y'all wanted Marxism. Y'all wanted little kids to be operated at 10 years old to cut their private parts off. That was your candidate that wanted open borders. Your candidate wanted to destroy the country, not Trump. Anyway, all right. For some of y'all leaving us, God bless. The rest of y'all stick around. You can listen. MoonGriffon.com. Listen live. That's another way to listen. Hour number 3, Miller is going to join us. And we got an ambassador on about Trump foreign policies, Mr. Rooney, Ambassador Rooney, who's always good. Take a break. Be right back.
Our state is facing a budget shortfall, left over by the last governor. Jeff Landry in the legislature already cut $2 billion for spending we don't need. Now they have to deal with this shortfall, but they've got a plan to deal with that and move Louisiana forward. This is what Governor Landry said.
This Louisiana Forward Plan, when fully implemented by the legislature and ratified by the people of this state, will produce more jobs, a greater prosperity, lower our taxes, and bring us a sustainable budget.
This plan cuts taxes for the middle class and all taxpayers, with the income tax rate dropped to just 3%. Job creators can grow the economy with lower taxes. Families and senior citizens, no more prescription drug sales tax. A different tax system which focuses on choices, not labor. And the Louisiana voters, we get the final say. Fixing the shortfall, cutting taxes, growing our economy. Now that's moving Louisiana forward. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
The Moon Griffon merchandise store is now open. Go to moongriffon.com right now and click on merchandise. There you'll find men's tees, ladies' tees, polos, fishing shirts, lounge pants, hats, and more. Through November 15th, a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Cajun Navy hurricane relief efforts. Show your love for the Moon Griffon Show by purchasing some Moon Griffon merch. Go to moongriffon.com right now and click on merchandise.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.
Learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Make more. Teach. Visit teach.org. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pro Studio.
A Trump case in limbo. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A New York judge postpones a decision on whether to toss out the president-elect's criminal conviction for falsifying business records.
A jury convicted the president-elect in May on charges of falsifying business records related to a $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels in 2016. The option to dismiss follows the Supreme Court's ruling that presidents have broad immunity from criminal prosecution.
Fox's Brooke Singman. Last week's election results prompting another defense argument for dismissal. Judge Juan Merchan delaying a ruling to next Tuesday. Sentencing is currently scheduled for later this month. Sources telling Fox News President-elect Trump plans to nominate South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem to head Homeland Security and to tap Senator Marco Rubio to be his Secretary of State, but no announcement yet. A day before an Oval Office meeting with the president-elect, President Biden is meeting today with Israel's president, who will also reportedly meet with Trump UN ambassador pick, New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. One day before jury selection was set to begin, the man accused of killing a Georgia nursing student asks the judge to hear the case, waiving his right to a jury trial.
Jose Ibarra is charged with murdering Laken Riley. The Augusta State University nursing student was found near running trails after her friend reported she'd failed to return from a morning jog in February. Ibarra was charged with malice, murder, felony murder, assault, kidnapping, tampering with evidence, and hindering an emergency call. He is from Venezuela, and while he entered the country illegally, he was allowed to stay to pursue his immigration case.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The indictment says Ibarra had peered into the window of a university apartment on the day of the murder. So he also faces a peeping Tom charge. The defense had tried unsuccessfully in this case for a change of venue. And again today, they waived a right to a jury trial, asking the judge to hear it instead. America is listening to Fox News.
I know it's hard to believe, but Christmas is right around the corner. And if you're thinking about what gift to get the firearms enthusiast that may be on your list this year, I highly recommend. I love this company. The rifles, the shotguns, the revolvers, made right here in America by our friends at Henry Repeating Arms. Now, they've got 200 models to choose from, a wide variety of calibers and styles and prices, and you cannot go wrong with any of them. They're a great company. The easiest way to check out Henry's Firearms is to get a copy of their free holiday gift guide. Just go to their website. It's henryusa.com. Click on the catalog button in the top right-hand corner. They will mail the gift guide and a few decals, and it won't cost you a penny. So if you want to put something made in America under your Christmas tree, make sure you order the free gift guide and get free decals from Henry USA today. That's henryusa.com. For a free gift guide and decals, henryusa.com. You're going to love this company. I love this company.
Control of the U.S. House not decided yet, with multiple races yet to be called, but current Speaker Mike Johnson says Republicans are ready to deliver on a second Trump term agenda.
We will be ready on day one. We are prepared this time.
And he says voters gave them a mandate, but progressives in Congress are pledging to be a front line of defense against the incoming administration.
House Progressive Caucus Chair Pramila Jayapal says the Democratic Party needs to be rebuilt. And when it comes to the election losses,
clearly not enough voters knew
knew what Democrats were going to do to make their lives better, particularly poor and working class Americans across this country.
The comments come as a number of more moderate members are blaming far-left policies as one of the big reasons Democrats were defeated at the ballot box.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. A petition drive has a specific role in mind for one high-profile Trump supporter.
ARI is an AI advocacy group, and Americans for Responsible Innovation is calling on President-elect Trump to name Elon Musk as special advisor on AI, saying he's uniquely situated to make America the leader on safe AI because they say he's both pioneered AI advancement and consistently sounded the alarm about AI potential risks. Musk has his own company, xAI, that's bringing developments to his Tesla electric cars. He helped found OpenAI and has since sued his co-founders, charging they abandoned their original mission of safe and transparent AI. ARI's mission is to advocate for AI in the public interest, seeking 10,000 signatures on their petition to the president-elect.
Fox's Therese Crowley. Some football news. The Chicago Bears fire offensive coordinator Shane Waldron after a 19-3 loss to New England, scoring just 27 points the last 3 games. The Bears are 4-5. Passing game coordinator Thomas Brown gets a promotion. A retreat on Wall Street. Right now, the Dow's down 247. Elisa Brady, Fox News.